My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm bringing an update right now on my complaint of the Texas Ethics Commission against Judge Mary Brown. Judge Mary Brown of the 301st District Court, the Texas Ethics Commission, the complaint that I filed with them. And first I want to say to the Texas Ethics Commission, thank you for responding in the way that you did. With the promptness and what I looked at, the letter, I just want to say it's so refreshing to see an agency that has taken swift response, swift action to a complaint that was filed against a judge, Judge Mary Brown, District Judge Mary Brown of the 301st District Court. I want to thank you. Many of us have zero confidence in the judiciary, and there was one man who said to distrust the judiciary marks the beginning of the end of society. Filing this complaint and having it accepted by the Texas Ethics Commission is giving me a sliver of hope that maybe the entire process is not completely broken. This was the response that I received back from the Texas Ethics Commission, and once again, thank you. This was, the response was drafted on August 31st, 2022, and this is the copy that was sent to the Honorable Mary Brown. The Honorable Mary Brown regarding the notice of complaint SC-322-08313. Dear Judge Brown, we received sworn complaint SC-322-08313 on August 25th, 2022. The sworn complaint alleges that, as a write-in candidate for district judge, you knowingly accepted $32,000 in political contributions before filing your declaration of write-in candidacy in violation of Section 253.154 of the Election Code. The Texas Ethics Commission, in parentheses, accepts jurisdiction over this allegation. This does not mean that the Commission has found that a violation occurred. It means that the sworn complaint meets the Commission's legal and technical form requirements for accepting jurisdiction. The sworn complaint allegation will be processed as a Category 1 violation. Under the law, you are required to respond to the allegation not later than 10 business days from the date you receive this notice. Failure to respond will constitute a separate violation for which a separate civil penalty may be assessed. And now they're giving instructions to Mary Brown on how she needs to address this allegation that I made. And I believe that my allegation was pretty airtight using Facebook posts that her campaign consultant or campaign manager, Jeff Dalton, whatever he is, that he actually posted. We have those. And also her filing regarding contributions that she received up through June the 30th, 2022 in violation of the Texas Election Code. The response must be in writing. Admit or deny the allegation and be signed by you. If you deny the allegation, then you should provide evidence supporting the denial. The response must include any challenge you seek to raise to the Commission's exercise of jurisdiction. The response should be under oath. This was so refreshing to see that a judge actually has to swear under oath that what she's writing is the truth, that she's not making up something, that she's not fabricating something. You see, in her own court, she can be her own law. She can do whatever she wants to. She has discretion, and her discretion allows her to violate the Constitution. Her election allows her basically unlimited power to abuse people, to exploit people, and now she has to be under oath. If the response that she makes under oath is false, I believe that she also ought to be prosecuted under our perjury laws. It would be nice to have an example made out of a judge who abuses people in their courts, permits perjury, now to be held to the standard that if she commits perjury in her response, that she would be prosecuted for perjury. That would help to bring some trust in this whole process once again. We have enclosed an affidavit form that you may wish to use for the response. A respondent who is a candidate or office holder may, by writing submitted to the Commission, designate an agent with whom the Commission staff may communicate regarding the complaint. If you have any information relevant to the complaint, please provide it at this time. Also, please be advised, you should preserve all documents. No destruction of documents, Judge Mary Brown or campaign consultant, campaign manager Jeff Dalton. No destruction of documents and no destruction of the evidence. You should preserve all documents and evidence related to the allegations in this complaint. And just so that you know, Judge Mary Brown and Jeff Dalton, these have all been submitted to the commission. So if you try to deny them, the proof is already there. So it's in your best interest. It's in the best interest of the judge to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, even if that truth means that you get penalized, that you have committed a violation under the Texas Ethics Code, and that you should pay back up to 3 times the amount of the contributions you have received. To comply with the legal requirements regarding the initial notice of a sworn complaint, I have also included a copy of the sworn complaint, and that's my sworn complaint. Obviously, I signed my name to it. Obviously, I am not ashamed of anything that I wrote. I wanted her to know that I wrote this, so I'm very glad that the Texas Ethics Commission actually gave her the complaint. However, remember, in her court, you may have allegations raised against you for which there is no evidence, and she can determine you guilty based on pure speculation. What I submitted, though, was not speculation. It was factual, and it was supported by written evidence. I have also included a copy of the sworn complaint, the Commission's sworn complaint rules, a statement of respondents' rights, and a copy of the relevant statutes of the election code. So there were 5 documents that were that I was able to look at and to preview. And once again, I cannot thank the Texas Ethics Commission enough to say that maybe you are starting to restore faith in the judicial process, because as a citizen of Texas, a person who wants to believe in the judicial process, I have absolutely zero, in fact, negative trust in the whole judiciary in the state of Texas at this point in time. So thank you once again for your response to this. More information about the complaint process is available on the Commission's website at www.ethics.state.tx.us. Please note that at this stage in the process, Commission members and staff are required by law to keep the complaint and all documents relating to it strictly confidential. Now, I've talked in the past with agencies when I've said, what does this mean? Can I talk about it? They said, yes, you can. They must keep things confidential. I am allowed to discuss my complaint and the notice that I received. So Judge Mary Brown right now is under investigation, an ethics investigation for violation of the Texas election law. The Texas Ethics Commission has accepted jurisdiction. The Texas Ethics Commission is processing it as a Category 1 violation. Now, I think I know what that means, and I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to speculate as other people may on what exactly this means. But as far as I could tell, I took a look at the flow chart, and it appears that I've surpassed, overcome, surmounted a number of obstacles, and now at the place where the Ethics Commission is taking my sworn complaint with the gravity that it deserves. The other question that I would like to know, though, was that there were $32,000 worth of donations raised by her campaign and her campaign manager / consultant, whatever he is, Jeff Dalton. And I believe 100% or almost 100% of them came from law firms and attorneys, people who should be expert in the law. What I want to know is why they did not realize that they were contributing illegally to a write-in candidate, or did they do so willingly and intentionally? I believe that this should be investigated as well, and perhaps these law firms also ought to have some type of civil punishment assessed against them. We know, of course, they would tell us that they are not trying to buy influence with a judge. They're just trying to support good judges. Yet their definition of a good judge is a judge that rules in their favor, a judge that lets them win, a judge that they have influence with. I believe that the attorneys and law firms, especially the platinum sponsors, should very definitely be investigated as well as to why they knowingly and willingly contributed to a judge who was a write-in candidate, but who had not yet been officially declared as a write-in candidate. I believe all of this corruption needs to be looked at. Now, this is beyond the purview of the Texas Ethics Commission as far as I am aware. They're looking at judges and office and people running for judicial office. But there ought to be another agency, institution somewhere that would investigate these corrupt law firms that are trying to buy influence to influence justice. Justice to them means they win. Justice in their terms is different than what justice is in the terms of the people of Texas. And the final closing statement here is, please contact me if you have any questions. Sincerely, and I'm going to withhold this lady's name, but she was the Assistant General Counsel. The jurisdiction is accepted for the Texas Ethics Commission and also the Interim Executive Director. He has signed it digitally as of August the 31st as well, 2022. So, Judge Mary Brown, I would hope that instead of your website, write down Mary Brown, that would be changed to I'm stepping down Mary Brown. I'm stepping down Mary Brown, and perhaps somebody out there who's listening to this wants to develop a website called Step Down Mary Brown. We cannot have unethical judges dispensing justice, supposedly, when they are unethical. And when you don't dispense justice, you dispense injustice. And I believe, based on what I've seen over more than a year now, watching her hearings off and on, that in many instances she dispenses injustice. I believe that Mary Brown should step down Mary Brown. Don't write down Mary Brown, step down Mary Brown. I believe that's the only course that she should take. And if you are a voter in Dallas County, I believe that you should not vote for an unethical judge who is willing to cheat to try to gain an advantage over her opponents. She willingly and knowingly accepted donations when she was not allowed to do that. Now you could say, well, you know, it was her first election, but it's not. This is her third election. She has been occupying her position for a good 10 years, and she's trying to keep her seat so that she can dispense more injustice. Step down Mary Brown. Again, I hope that somebody out there picks up a website, Step Down Mary Brown, and I hope that we will hear from Mary Brown, that Mary Brown would step down. One final thing, when a judge is under an ethical investigation, such as Mary Brown is, I also believe that she should be administratively suspended from her duties. If you were a police officer and if you had a complaint against you like this, if you were a fire officer and if you had a complaint against you like this, almost any public servant, public official, if they had serious ethical charges against them, and this is only one ethical charge, there are other charges, allegations being made against Mary Brown, such as the facilitation of child abuse, which has been filed with the Department of Family and Protective Services. There have been other complaints with the State Commission on Judicial Conduct for her illegally shutting down a court hearing. I believe that she has the obligation to tender a resignation. I believe that those in charge of her have the obligation to administratively suspend her. And I also believe that because of her ethical violations and her other violations that she's committed, that perhaps they ought to be looking at, do we give her a retirement fund? Because we, the taxpayers, are paying for this unethical judge to occupy this seat. And once again, I would say the best thing that Mary Brown could do at this point, fess up, own up, tell the truth, and step down. Step down, Mary Brown. Once again, to the Texas Ethics Commission, I want to thank you so much for helping to restore my faith in this process in the state of Texas. Thank you.